So you've seen the deep dives and you've read the blog posts, but what can you really expect from F1 25? Well, I've been able to play F1 25 for a few hours at Codemasters Studio in Birmingham, including MyTeam and reverse tracks, and I'm pretty excited about how the game is shaping up. Straight off the bat, it's just important to say I've only had a few hours of experience with the game, and the build that I played was not the review build that will go out to reviewers before launch. So this preview will focus on my first impressions of the game, including MyTeam, handling, reverse tracks, and graphical improvements. Okay, let's dive in. The biggest feature for F1 25 this year is the revamp of MyTeam, with MyTeam 2.0, as Cody's referred to it, making a significant change from previous years in that players will no longer be the owner-driver of the team, but now solely the owner. You'll still be able to design and create your team in whatever style you'd like, and there are more customization options than ever before with a new decal editor finally. But you'll be hiring 2 drivers to drive for your team, and it's up to you who you decide to race as in any given race weekend. This change coincides with a much more comprehensive redesign of the mode itself, with the mode now being more in-depth and closer to, say, F1 Manager than it has been in previous MyTeam experiences. For example, R&D was pretty simple in previous games. You research the part, wait a few weeks, and then it gets added to both cars. Pretty simple. In F1 25 though, there's the research phase, then the actual manufacturing phase, and then, depending on your financial situation or time constraints, you might have to make a tough choice about which driver gets the upgrade, which can then impact your relationship with them. There's loads more actions for you to do, and therefore loads more consequences as well to your actions. In F1 25, as the owner, you'll be in charge of 3 departments: engineering, personnel, and corporate, which you'll be working to build and increase the amount of people working in that team as you progress. Now, as the size of your workforce increases, you'll have to balance out effectiveness versus cost, because for the first time, the cost cap has been introduced into the series, which adds another layer of responsibility. Having only poked around the mode for an hour or so, there's definitely more depth to the mode, with more granular decision making at every turn, which should satisfy the players who've been calling for a more in-depth MyTeam experience, particularly when it comes to managing the team day to day, managing relationships and contracts with drivers, and all the potential ramifications of making the wrong call. There could be some really intriguing situations for players to explore this year, but I'm still not sure about how I feel about the owner experience versus owner-driver, and it's something I'll have to explore when I get more hands-on time with the game, because on the one hand, it is more realistic. That doesn't happen in real life anymore. You don't get owner drivers anymore. But on the other hand, actually being the driver in the team was really immersive and rewarding. And look, Codemasters' argument is that that's what driver career is for, and I guess they're right. But this middle ground, I don't know. Let's wait and see. I'm reserving judgment until I spend more time with the mode, but let me know what you think in the comments. Is this the right direction for F1 25? Another big change for this year is that 5 tracks have been given a makeover thanks to the use of LiDAR technology, with Codemasters getting this directly from F1 race weekends. Bahrain, Miami, Melbourne, Suzuka, and Imola are all getting upgrades this year, and having tried them all out, you can definitely see big improvements to track layout, scenery, sponsor board placements, environments, elevation, even the colour of the road surfaces. It's really cool. For example, in Suzuka, you can clearly see new beautiful cherry blossom trees as you go through the S-curves, and there's also a no bump at the start of the main straight, which is amazing. Even in the short time I had to play the game, I could see new things in these tracks that I haven't seen before, and they're much closer to real life. Now, obviously, I only had a few hours, so when I was driving around these 5 tracks in F1 25, there were things that I was seeing that I think were new, and there was definitely things that were different. It was hard to pinpoint exactly some of the things that I was seeing, but hopefully when I get more hands-on time, I'll be able to do a direct comparison with F1 24 and 25. But driving in Bahrain, for example, just after the Grand Prix, it just felt more real, and that's great for immersion. Now, onto handling. And you might have noticed that Codemasters hasn't gone big on handling this year, probably because of the controversy last year that saw Cody's release a big update to fix the handling model we had at launch. And honestly, as a moderately good sim racer, from my short time playing the game, I feel like there was an improvement on last year's game, but it does feel more like an evolution than a revolution. I was talking to some of the devs at the event and they were saying how they pulled some of the best stuff from F1 23 and 24 to make F1 25's handling model. And from what I was able to make out from a very short time with the game, I think people might be pleasantly surprised, especially with the new balanced default setups. But again, this is not even a review build, and things can change before launch, but I was pretty happy. We do have an interview coming with F1 25's handling guy, so make sure to get subscribed so you don't miss it in the next few weeks. Last but not least, let's talk reverse tracks, because when I saw Lewis Hamilton's Ferrari exit the pit lane in the wrong direction in the game's trailer, I was thinking, okay, that's cool, but it didn't get me that excited. But after playing the 3 reverse tracks in F1 25, which are Silverstone, Austria, and Zandvoort, it's got me very excited. As Cody's explained to me, it's not just a case of sticking the cars in the opposite direction and letting them go. The entire pit lane and garages have been reversed, there's brand new DRS zones and new sectors. You can't even think of them as Silverstone, Austria or Zandvoort, because when you race them, you have to think of them as brand new tracks, because that's exactly what they feel like. You've got no muscle memory, no reference points, and it was a lot of fun trying to push the limits on what essentially are brand new, if familiar, tracks. I think the 3 tracks they've chosen are superb choices, and I had a lot of fun. I'm pretty excited to play more of F1 25, to get into the nitty-gritty of MyTeam and see how I feel a couple of years in, to get a better understanding of the new handling model, and also those reverse tracks. Get me on them, get me back on them. We will be reviewing this game before launch, so if you want to hear my more comprehensive thoughts after having much longer with the game, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss it. We also have a few F1 25 interviews coming on the channel too in the next few weeks, so make sure to keep an eye out. And if you have any questions, please fire away and I'll try to respond to as many as I can. Thanks for watching and we'll see you soon.